Hey everybody, welcome into Old Mountain Bricks. Today we're taking a look at possibly the most magical set of all time. This is the Disney Castle. Set number 43222 containing 4,837 pieces. This set is the second iteration of the Disney Castle and was released in 2023. And today we're going to be taking a look at it. We're going to go through the build process, show you all the hidden Easter eggs and details hidden within, take a look at these exclusive minifigures, and then take a look at the set overall. The back of the box shows it is open back dollhouse style, shows the dimensions, some of the details within, some of the other playable features and scenes, and of course, the inspiration. We've got some big plans for this set of what we plan to do with it here in our Lego room or Lego City, so we're excited to really get started with this one and see how we can integrate it and add even more fun to this set in the future. But let's go ahead and crack this thing open and get started.
Cutting open the box, inside you will find plastic bags, of course, and another box with even more plastic bags in it. There are a total number of 25 individually numbered bags with a few extra kind of for each particular one, and the instruction manual inside here with 3 different ones and 2 small sticker sheets. As we get started with the build, you start by building the nice solid foundation using those like Technic squares that all pin together, so it is pretty solid, so you can lift it up without too much worry. And then you do one of my favorite parts of any sort of like bigger set like this or like a modular building is some of just the basics. All the different plates and the walls start going up, and then the details start going. You start by adding a ton of these like gold accents and like curtains and other little pillars and stuff, and then you get to the second floor where the outline of the rest of the building is going to be, and then you spend a ton of time and pieces working on like these pillars or turrets. They are a bit repetitive. That is my main complaint with the build of this set, is that it's a little tough because you do it so often, and using like the snot technique and all these small pieces just gets so repetitive and a little boring for me, especially on these really large sets. But then you start on the next portion, which is like the top section, I guess we'll call it. There's kind of like the bottom with all like the turrets and stuff, and then this is like the main dollhouse section, so has a lot of this peach color, and this is where you start adding like the diorama scenes, which is always really fun because those always involve a ton of nice little details and Easter eggs or building details, which are always nice. You then start to finish that up with some other roof details, and you start on the last big tower of the set, which has a ton of details within there as well, with all different types of horn pieces and other gold accents. So it was still a ton of fun to put together, had some really fun building techniques, especially for this being an 18 plus set, as I like to be challenged once in a while. But you finish up this tower here, and then you add the little fireworks last in order to add the final details. But let's finish it up and take a look at it.
Alright, and here is the Disney Castle. This thing is a giant. Look at this thing. Here are the minifigures just for scale. We've got our signature 2x4 brick, of course, up front as well, and this thing is just a beauty. Chef's kiss. Mwah. This thing is great. So let's get into the details of this thing. Of course, this version is the second version we've ever gotten of the Disney Castle, aka the Cinderella Castle, based off the one in Walt Disney World. And this is based on the 50th anniversary color scheme. So it has like the darker blues for the bricks, these like bright blues for the turrets and domes, but like a peachy pink type color with a lot of gold accents. The original castle was more of a gray, and to my understanding, I think they're going to be reverting back to a more gray color scheme, but I think this one is just so much better. It pops so much more and just looks so iconic. So, let's go through some of the details here. Of course, we've got the minifigures out front. It does come with 8 minifigures. Of course, we'll take a closer look at them in just a moment. But let's start with the exterior. There are some stickers in this set, but there are also a number of prints in this set. My favorite print is right here, which is meant to symbolize the Disney crest, which is really cool to see. Behind there, this is like a panel, and that's printed as well. Looks very nice, as well as the iconic clock right there. As far as the outside, these are some nice prints on here for like the arrow slits that you would see in most castles and such, so that's really cool. I really like how they broke it up with like this sand blue color, I believe it is, and then like light bluish gray to give it a bit more contrast rather than just using like dark bluish gray or just a bunch of light bluish gray. But I think just adding a little bit of that and the patterns kind of throughout made it pop a lot more. Around the side of the castle, it does have some basic plating in order to add some of the water detail, some little flowers, some trees, as well. We've got some lanterns, of course, there. Lots of gold accents. This little pattern with the 1x2 plate and then the one stud on top is found everywhere throughout it. As you rotate it around a little bit, you can see it's a little bit different. It's not completely symmetrical, as you can see. This side has this kind of design, and then this one has a more square design with more of those little patterns. The build itself was a bit repetitive, especially because these are built using like a snot technique or studs not on top in order to put like these panels on the side of each of these. So you did that a number of times, and having to rotate it, doing the spires, doing the different repetitive patterns and such did get a little much. As we rotate it around, you can see there is plenty of space right up in here, kind of separating the design as well. And as we continue around, you can see it is dollhouse style and has a lot of great Easter eggs and details hidden within here. But it just shows so many different scenes. A lot of them include like some sticker details, which we'll get to in just a second. But I still think it looks really great from this angle as well, as you can make it kind of like a diorama scene by putting all of your minifigures in different scenes if you wanted to. Similar to what we have with like the new Death Star that just came out recently. This is kind of the same idea here, but just a little bit smaller. Starting in this section here, you can see we've got a pumpkin up top, of course, a reference to Cinderella and their pumpkin carriage. We've got a reference to Mulan. In here, you can see there are references to minifigures that are not in this set. Right down here is like the Dingle Hopper, aka a fork from The Little Mermaid. We have the sword in the anvil right down in this section. Has some nice candle details up top there. Over here are some of my favorite details found within here. These are like some nice sticker pieces, but they're on like the reflective type of stickers here, and they're meant to be like a stained glass effect. So you can see the first one on the left here, we have Princess Tiana, and then we have Cinderella right in there. You can see the reflectiveness in that one a bit more. Going across the side, you can see there's the exit right through there. Those doors do open and close. We also have a nice chandelier right in the middle here, using like the eggshell piece, which is really cool. We also have a spinning table down here to allow some minifigures to dance around. Of course, I'll show you how that works in just a second. You can see the other two like stained glass style stickers with Snow White and Rapunzel, so it features all four of the main princesses in this set, but I think they look really cool. I love when they use those like mirror or reflective stickers. As we continue through the bottom part of the castle, another little hidden Easter egg in here. We've got like a well station and of course like a mop and bucket, like from the movie Fantasia. We have a few flying leaves going through the air as a nod to Pocahontas. As we go up to the next station, we have a reference to Beauty and the Beast in here with like Mrs. Potts and Chip, and I believe the oven guy, I forget his name, but that's cool to see, like the chef. Of course, we have the table right in here with some nice little glasses and everything, and of course a Lumiere in there as well. As we go up to the next stage, we have a few other combinations in here. We have, of course, the rose in the jar, nod to Beauty and the Beast. We have the genie lamp as a nod to Aladdin, also with the sticker piece below with the carpet right there. We also have like the bookshelf, of course, right there with like the ladder, which I think is also in reference to Beauty and the Beast. And we have some more modern references. You can see right there, it is a sticker piece with Maui on it, and the nice oar sitting right there for Moana. Over to this side, we then have the painting by Rapunzel with the floating lanterns or floating lights. And in this little bucket down here, you've got her paint supplies, which of course you can have her hold if you want to, or just store it in this bucket for now. Up here we then have Cinderella's bed, I believe, which of course it's her castle, so I guess she needs a place to be. Over here we have a nod to Sleeping Beauty. I believe it's been a long time since I've seen that, with like the spinning wheel or the sewing wheel or whatever it's called, as that can then flip around and turn into like Maleficent there with like the green flames, so a fun little play feature in that. We also have a mirror up on this section. You can see on here no extra play features, but I assume in reference to kind of Snow White. And of course up top we have the print piece of the glass slipper. Up here is interesting. There is nothing that actually goes up in this section, so you could just have a minifigure waving down from the top. And of course, as we back up, we have the two fireworks going off, which I think is a really fun inclusion in these like trans clear items. Adds a bit more color and dimension to this build. I think the top is really neat as well, using all these different cheese slopes kind of and wedge plates in order to make the very top of this looks really good. My main complaint is actually this piece right up here. It's that same like Disney crest, but it is a sticker piece on both sides. If they printed it once on one, I feel like they should have printed it on the flag, especially for the top. It just seems very obvious when you look at it. It just doesn't match or stand out. But I believe that's all of the hidden Easter eggs within, so there are a ton. And now just a quick look at the minifigures that come with the set. It only comes with 8, but there are some fairly detailed minifigures. From left to right, we have Princess Tiana and Prince Naveen, Cinderella and Prince Charming, Snow White and Prince Florian, Rapunzel and Flynn Rider. I find it interesting how they decide to have some characters called Prince or Princess and others that are not. Like, shouldn't it just be Princess Snow White or Princess Cinderella and Prince Charming? Or Princess Rapunzel? I don't know. I don't make the rules, but that's how they have it on the box and in the instructions and such. But they are pretty detailed. Of course, we have 4 different couples, but it still feels like we're lacking. I know in the original Disney Castle, we had like Mickey Mouse and Friends, which I still think maybe should have been included, especially for a set this large, that at least Mickey and Minnie. Let's take a look at each couple individually now. First up is Princess Tiana and Prince Naveen here. Tiana looks great. She has some nice printing on her dress, dual molded arms with like the yellow gloves, this nice hairpiece that holds the tiara, the only one actually wearing an official tiara from what I can understand. Prince Naveen over here looks pretty good. No print detailing on his legs or anything. He's got the nice green torso and the like sand yellow epaulets, the little shoulder pad things, and a nice cape and hairpiece, which I think looks pretty good. It's always interesting when you're putting those on with the cape, so it gets a little hard to put on, but I still think he looks pretty good. Next up, on to the OG princess. This is Snow White and Prince Florian, which honestly, I couldn't have told you the name of the prince here, but I really like his legs in this one. He's got dual molded legs and some nice print detailing with the belt and his little print detailing coming down from his torso. He also has a red cape, so I wish that would have been carried over to Naveen. I think some of the other minifigures also have some nice print detailing, so a little disappointed there. Snow White again looks pretty good. She has some dual molded arms as well with some nice printing on the side. Nothing really on the back of her skirt or anything there. She has the nice little piece up here for her like collar. Her hairpiece is actually rubberized as well, so it's kind of dual molded in order to get that red bow in there, but I think overall both of them look great. Next up, we have Rapunzel and Flynn Rider, aka Eugene Fitzherbert. And I think Rapunzel looks pretty good, has some nice arm print detailing. Again, she has like the dress piece that looks pretty good as well. Her hair is the plastic version that you can put like the flowers in on that. It says to only put one, but she had 2 holes in the hair, so I said, hey, let's go ahead and put both flowers in there because she has a bunch in the movie there, so I think that looks okay. Flynn Rider also looks pretty good. He has some nice dual molded legs as well, and the nice print detailing on the belt I haven't seen very often. Normally when you get this, they don't print on the belt there, so I'm glad they at least included that. That looks pretty good, and he's got some nice like vest details on there, and of course his satchel. But overall, I love that this is the most modern inclusion in this, so I think they've really kind of spanned the generations here. And of course, we have to end with Cinderella and Prince Charming. So for those unaware, the castle in Walt Disney World, the one this is based off of, is known as Cinderella Castle. So this is Cindy's home and fortress here, and she is looking pretty good here. I would have wanted a little bit more like sparkle detailing. You can kind of see it on there. but I would have wanted a little bit more of that printing maybe on the back of the skirt piece or dress piece there. Her hair also looks pretty good. It's dual molded, but in the plastic, and looks overall pretty good and simple. And again, Prince Charming also looks pretty good. He's got some nice printing on his shoes and the side of his legs, which is really nice to see. He's also got the epaulets up here and just some basic gold printing on there as well. But I like the level of detail that most of these minifigures have. So we've had Princess Tiana and Prince Naveen volunteer to do a little dance on the floor right here. So you can just kind of stick them in right there, then rotate this little gear in order to have them dance around in a little circle. So, na, 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 na. Here is just a quick shot of all the leftover pieces on this set. Nothing really notable other than maybe like the green transparent flame piece right here, a sword, and maybe the paintbrush, but I don't think any other printed pieces. Another fun feature with this set is that you can remove the top if you need to. I wouldn't recommend it at all times, but you can kind of just bend it back like this gently, and this whole section then comes off like that. So if you need to transport it, it just makes it a little easier for it to do here. So here's just a closer look at some of that detail. Ton of these window pieces with the grills. You can see all the different horn pieces, telescopes, the little arrow pieces. We've got like the drill pieces up here, just adding a ton of gold accents and details. And you can see right in here with this section that it was held in with a number of those jumpers, so it doesn't get out of place. It has some other pieces on the side as well, so it's easy just to place right back in if you need to. Alright, so there you have it, the Disney Castle. I am so glad I finally picked up this set. It was on my wish list for a long time, and I finally pulled the trigger right at the end of the year. Because it was on sale and I believe double points, which means this set is now retired and a thing of the past, but I saw it in so many Lego stores. We're obviously big fans of Disney here at Old Mountain Bricks, so it just made sense to finally get this set, and I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it's a bit repetitive in some areas. I wish there were more minifigures, but I still think it's pretty great, even with an open back like this. I just love the colors. It looks good up close and from a distance, which you don't get out of every Lego set. Make sure you subscribe to Old Mountain Bricks because we're going to be adding even more minifigures. We've got a ton of Disney and Disney adjacent like Marvel or Star Wars or Pixar or other types of things that would go in something like this. And we're going to cram this thing full of different stories and maybe mini builds and just add a little bit more going on behind the scenes and maybe a few folks just kind of sticking out all around. We need Mickey Mouse. We need some of the other Fab Five and some of the other princesses and villains, and I think it would just be a great thing to do. So don't miss out on that, as we plan to do that here really soon. But like I said, I think it's an overall great set. But those are just my thoughts. Leave a comment down below what you think of the set. Is there a particular minifigure you think is missing? Like I said, I think that is like Mickey and Minnie should have still been included. Make sure you leave a like on the way out. Subscribe to Old Mountain Bricks so you don't miss the next review, Lego City update, Lego shopping video, or the future of the Lego Disney Castle. And until next time, thanks for coming by Old Mountain Bricks today. Have a good one.